I feel like a hero for putting Boys Like Girls as a number 9 seed in this bracket. Products of a major label, these guys got a big push and a ton of radio play. The Great Escape, Love Drunk, and Hero Heroin were just absolute smash hits. The band had multiple songs chart on Billboard and actually stayed predominantly within the genre when they were touring. And they toured with bands like Good Charlotte, The Maine, Cobra Starship, Cute Is What We Aim For. They were Warped Tour staples as well, and they took a lot of up-and-coming bands out on tour with them, so they get credit for that. They also did stuff with like Disney Channel and Nickelodeon, which exposed a lot of kids to them, and then by default to those other bands. This band always made me feel like what I assume hip-hop purists feel like when they listen to Vanilla Ice. They always just seem like culture vultures to me. They were a major label product, everything was super clean and super pop-driven, and they seemed like the Click 5 just prancing around in the scene. But I can't fault them for that. They burned fast, and they had 2 really good albums on Sony. They came out swinging from a South Philly basement, caked in stale beer and sweat, and they landed at number 9. The Wonder Years. The Wonder Years can do no wrong in my eyes. Their songs are well written, and the lyrics are second to none. The progression of this band from record to record is just absolutely great. They just keep getting better and better. And it seems like they've done it all on their own terms, which is cool. The song Cigarettes and Saints has personally just gotten me through a bunch of shit. When I play Came Out Swing at emo nights, like, people literally lose their minds, so I respect them for that too. Unfortunately, I just got in this band really late. Like, really, really late. I had a personal beef with them for about a decade. When they were fresh out on the touring scene, I booked them, and we had a little disagreement over them being really late to the gig, and then accidentally breaking a glass door on the way in. And I owned the venue, so I was pretty pissed off. I was young, I'm sure I was a cocky asshole, but I just never listened to them for many years. My loss. So before we get in too deep, I think we should bring Sum 41 on as the next number 9 seed. These guys are like those next level, first wave of radio pop punk bands that really took the world by storm in the late 90s and early 2000s. They were really just part of pop culture at the time. They were TRL bands. Sum 41 has Grammy nominations and is one of the top selling Canadian acts of all time. By the way, I was this many days old when I realized Sum 41 was a Canadian band. They also kind of had metal and hip hop elements to their music, which I always kind of dug. Every person worth their weight in salt knows at least Fat Lip and In Too Deep. They did, though, always seem like the big band, but they never really got as big as like Blink-182 or Green Day or even The Offspring. I don't think their material like the Hell Song gets the recognition that it truly deserves for whatever reason. It might be because they always kind of flirted with the alternative vibe, which is kind of what The Offspring did too, and I think that has always like separated them from this crowd. Until the Day I Die, I'll argue that Story of the Year belonged on this list as a number 9 seed. Their album, Page Avenue, was absolutely great. Until the Day I Die, Anthem of Our Dying Day, and Sidewalks are like legitimate hits. These dudes got tons of love from MTV, and the Warped Tour crowd really embraced them, and they had a great run. I actually think they still like tour once in a while, and they might put out albums still. I remember getting into them because this like non-scene girl that I was talking to at the time like played a couple songs of theirs for me. We went to a show, and I just kind of loved them. And I also had a really sick Story of the Year t-shirt. It's one of my favorites ever. I think everyone involved in this band really wanted to be more of a radio rock band and go mainstream.